Howdy boys and girls, time for a quick update. Today is Sunday. I think maybe I look cuter with my hat on. And I thought I would be having a time off, but instead today is probably the first more or less relaxed day that I can actually consider like a time off. So I delivered my load when? Wednesday? And then I made a mistake of booking another load right away, and of course all heck, basically there was a lot of things to do because it's a big machine. So yeah, it took like 2.5 days, no, maybe 2 days to get the permits, the bond, the bridge crossing permit. So this will be my highest gross weight I did so far. So empty weight 72,400 pounds, and the load is roughly 99 or 100,000 pounds, so I'll be like 172.4, and this is the heaviest I ever did. Even though the machine itself is, I did that weight before, right? But because of the Jeep and Stinger, that adds about 11,000-12,000 pounds of weight. But I need them because eventually this goes to Baltimore, right? So I'm doing this 349, 345 cat from London, Ontario to Baltimore, Maryland. But eventually I have to make my way back to Alberta because I have to move that second scraper. I already received the payment for the second one, and hopefully I'll find something from Baltimore or maybe Chicago or Minneapolis or Fargo at least, so that I don't have to go all the way empty. But this load helps a lot with fuel money, even though it goes in the wrong direction, right? Eventually I have to go northwest from my current location, but this one goes to Baltimore, but it's only 500 miles. But I'm getting a very decent rate, and so Thursday I ordered the permits, and I thought, like I mentioned before, I wanted to start doing all permits myself, but I think I'll stick to Canada. Canadian provinces I'll do myself, but in the States I had good luck, even though sometimes it takes longer with my permit service company. And so what I did different this time, I booked permits not manually, like which I did before, where I would fill up a PDF form and then they have to retype everything and re-enter in their computer. But now I did everything from their website, which the option that I did not use before, where it's a very nice handy feature where you enter everything once, right? And it's all digital form. All your axle spacings, your tire sizes, the routing you want, and then they have everything in digital form, so they don't have to retype it. I'm pretty sure it's all integrated with their submission tool, where they send this info to these different permit offices. And so I asked, after I send them this, I asked them, is this easier for you? Is this better when I do it from your website as opposed to filling out a PDF form and just send you? And they said, yeah, this is much better, much easier. And so that's what I did. And Friday I got my New York and Pennsylvania permit for 176 gross. I just added a little bit. And I got my bridge crossing approval, which I had to do through a different website for Peace Bridge. And the only problem was with Maryland, because Maryland over 150,000 gross, you are a super load, and they want that bond. It's like a $10,000 bond, or option B is endorsement from your insurance company. It's like a one-page form that the insurance company, not just my broker, but the actual insurance company, like the underwriter, has to sign and say, yeah, it's okay. Basically, if my load damages, any structures, like any pavement or stuff like that, the insurance company will cover that. And I was afraid that would be very expensive, but instead, it was free, right? And then I called the guy that I worked with before on getting the bond, because this excavator actually goes overseas, right? And so I'll be using US just for transit to the port. So we're not going to deliver this inside US, otherwise people would have to pay customs duties and fees and stuff like that. So they wanted to have a bond to prevent that, but of course I have to pay for this bond, since I'm not a bonded carrier myself, so I can buy a bond for one-time use from other companies, and it's not easy to do, but I found this one contact that's okay working with me. He knows I'm not going to let him down. I know how to cancel the bond. I follow all the instructions. It's like very strict, things that you have to do when you have a shipment in bond. And so the price used to be $350 US, now it's $425. So I paid that, so I have the bond, I have the 2 permits, and then I read the permits, and I need the escort in both New York and Pennsylvania. And Maryland might even ask me for a police escort, because I'm going to be so heavy and 105 feet long. But the excavator, I don't know, it's like 11.3. I asked on the permits for 11.6 width, and height might be legal, but I just, protect myself, I added a couple of inches. I said, give me 13.10, 13 feet 10 inches overall. So yeah, basically I didn't have time to relax. It was all about this next load. And then Saturday, and I because I wanted the truck greased, and I didn't want to separate the Jeep and the Stinger. I'm thinking, okay, wait a second. So I can bring the truck and trailer to the Kenworth in Cambridge, because they have a big lot in there, and I can drop the trailer without removing the Jeep or Stinger, and then I can get them to work on the truck, because I needed to do grease. And then I had that leak on the coolant hose on the passenger side near the wheel. I tried to fix it myself. I bought new clamps and put 2 small clamps instead of 1, but it didn't help. It was still leaking. And so I asked them that one. So grease, coolant leak, and then since I had some water issues on my water separator, and water contaminates your fuel filter, and now it's basically 50% of the distance till I have my full oil change, and that's why I do the grease, right? Like 12,500 miles or 20,000 K. And sometimes it's helpful to change that water separator / fuel filter. And that's what I did. So grease, coolant leak fix, and water separator replace exactly with the same type. And they finished, I think they finished Friday. And I said, guys, I'm loading Monday in London, so is it okay if I just keep my truck and trailer there? I'm gonna leave Sunday or Monday. And they said, okay, as long as you don't block anybody. And they park in the very corner over there. And that's all Saturday. Yeah, and I did my laundry, used this wash and fold service. So, but Saturday mostly I was busy with my books, my profit and expenses, filled out my little table I have on the computer with all my expenses, and I did my HST sales tax return. So now I'll get some money from the government in a week. And then I went to the laundry place, picked up my laundry, and then I see a text message on the phone saying, hey Sergey, I wanted to meet you. I've been trying to do this for a year. And I said, okay, you want to see the truck? So one of my fans who lives in this area, so we met for coffee. He bought me coffee. Thanks, Neil. And then we had a nice chat. This guy pulls a tanker, watches my videos. Did heavy haul for a while, so he's interested in this stuff. And then I said, hey, you want to see my truck? And he says, where's your truck? I said, well, we are just a couple of blocks away from the Kenworth, and that's where the truck is. And so he says, okay, I'll follow you. So he followed me in his Chrysler. And there was so much snow today. You know, we had a bad snowstorm. So Challenger was a bit tricky to drive, but I managed. And so I spent an hour with this guy, just, you know, walking around the trailer. So I moved my laundry in there, moved my put back my printer. I bought a few new cartridges because I ran out of ink. And also I bought a new just trying to see if this will work. Remember, I was saying that my tablet was having issues charging, and so I brought it here, and the issue was like it's sitting like this, you know, on the dash, and this thing is always, you know, pointing downwards, and it's like a very flimsy cable, and somebody suggested that the cable might be, you know, worn out in the inside. And so I went to Staples and I asked them to give me some kind of a reinforced cable, and so they gave me this. See, this one has like a nice little hold on, it doesn't focus on the cable. Come on. Or see, I touched the screen and now it's focusing on the cable. Okay, let me touch my face again. Or it's back on the eye focus. Now this is the first video I'm doing with my EOS R, the new camera. But they said it should work. And I asked the guy, I said, I don't know what my size is. He says it's this, it's micro USB. Okay, so he gave me the proper one. And so now I'm gonna see if this will fix the issue with charging. Oh, it fits. Yeah, it fits. And I'm gonna charge it fully. And also I noticed on LG website, they said check to see if we have any updates for your tablet. So maybe they have some firmware updates. You know, and now I'm at the hotel. Might be a good time to download any updates because I have free Wi-Fi here. Right, but most importantly, we're gonna charge this tablet. And also I brought all my GoPros, and I got 2 of these, right? So we're gonna charge them because tomorrow is gonna be a big day. Loading, I want to show you guys some, you know, angles, but it's gonna be tricky. I've been to that Caterpillar dealer a couple of times. I know it's tight. There's no way I can go in with the Jeep and Stinger attached. I'm pretty sure I'll have to drop the Jeep and then rehook to the trailer, and I got so many cords in here, but that gives me a chance to charge all my cameras. And so yeah, I'll have to drop the Jeep, rehook to the trailer, and probably lock the Stinger. And remember, I'm still learning this multi-axle stuff, right? Lock the Stinger, and then I can go forward. And the load, I remember the loading part where you load is like you have to back towards your left, and then I'm gonna drop the trailer and take the neck and drive away, right? And this way I can load, and then after we load it, I'm gonna hook the neck back to the trailer, unhook, go grab the Jeep, and then back with the Jeep to the neck, and now we're good. Then all I need to do is just unlock the Stinger, because it'll have these arms down, right? Otherwise I wouldn't be able to back. And secure the excavator, and I hope that it'll be washed, because that's a constant problem with shipments going across the border, that people never wash the machines. But I know these guys, they have a wash in there. Don't remember how long the hose is, but I think they might be able to do it. And I also already found the Escort. This is a company in Buffalo, New York. And I told them, I said, I'll probably need the Escort all the way to Baltimore, even though I don't have my MD permit yet. But I know even if Pennsylvania and New York want me to have an Escort, definitely Maryland will want at least one, you know. And so I'm thinking, wait a second, so I'll have to get up like at 5 tomorrow, and Caterpillar opens at 7, but I don't want to be there before it's dark. I think it gets light around 7:30 or so. So I'm not gonna drive. I don't want to be there too early. But all this Jeep and Stinger, you know, acrobatics will take some time, and then by the time I'm loaded and everything is secure, I'm thinking it'll be like 11 or even 12 o'clock noon, you know. And then from there it's about 2 hours to the border. And I ordered the new unit number signs for the Jeep, right? Because there's nothing on the Jeep. I have to put the 605 number on the Jeep, and the place where I got these signs, they're gonna be ready Monday in Cambridge. So instead of going through 403 towards Hamilton, I'll just drive back 1 hour to Cambridge, because London is 1 hour west. Drive to Cambridge, park somewhere here where I can find parking for such a big rig, maybe at a Walmart or something, at maybe even at a truck stop, and go grab those two stickers, and I'll attach them when it's going to be warm so that they stick properly. And that's it, and then just drive to the border. And so I figured that by the time I reach the border, it's going to be around 3 o'clock Monday. And sunset is just after 5. And of course I'm going to Baltimore. And so I will have like 2 hours to drive, you know, and I need the Escort. And so the trick with these Escort is, you don't want to use them for only part of the day, because then they're still going to charge you the daily rate, you know, but you only driving, I don't know, 100 miles, you know. And so I told them, I said, you know what, let's take it slow, and let's start Tuesday morning. I said, meet me on the US side near the Peace Bridge at sunrise. So I'll cross the bridge at sunrise, and you meet me there. And then Buffalo, it's going to be tricky again, because they're sending me like on these 2-lane roads, like north and then east, and then eventually I go on to 390, but it's like a long way to 390, because I cannot use the toll I-90 or even I-190. So it's all like small streets, and then Highway 5. I was just reading the permit. And so I said, yeah, so hopefully like Tuesday, at least I'll be able to do, I don't know, 300, 400 miles, you know. So once we're on the freeway, we can roll pretty good. But my customer wants this machine delivered Wednesday, and that's what I have to do. But the only other complication can be the police escorts in Maryland. I'm not sure if they do want me to use police. Then I don't know how long it's going to take to set that up, you know. I never used cops before for this. And I still have to set up my border crossing, but that just takes like 10 minutes. I'm gonna do it Monday when I'm at the border. So yeah, I know a move like this takes a lot of planning and a lot of time. And again, that's why I always say that's why we cannot do this stuff for, you know, $2 a mile, because I already calculated that just 500 miles, right? I'm only going 500 miles, but because of such huge gross weight, 172,000 pounds, or actually in the permit 176, my permits and escorts will cost me around 2,500 US. So it's like $5 a mile, you know? And that's without the police escort. So I hope that it's not going to be too complicated. But again, this is the second move I do with the Jeep and Stinger. I enjoy learning new stuff, so this is, you know, the new level for me. And I love this setup. I love the Jeep and Stinger, and then eventually I'm going to switch the Stinger to 2+2. I just like that one better, especially for heavy loads. And so all I got to do now is charge all my cameras and get ready for tomorrow's loading. Thanks for watching.